This is Addison Smith with Campus Reform. President Trump has been kicked off Twitter. Parler has been completely banned. Has big tech gone too far? We're here at UVA to see if students think so. Let's see what they have to say. There's been a lot of talk of censorship in the news lately. Obviously, Trump got his account permanently suspended from Twitter. Parler getting completely deplatformed, dropped by all their vendors, dropped from the web server for not enforcing certain censorship laws. Do you support the decision that they made to deplatform Trump and take Parler off the internet?
I do support it. I know a lot of people are saying that it violates their I think it's the First Amendment.
I think that as private business entities, they do have the ability to choose who's on their platform. So yeah, I think it's okay.
These companies are private companies and they can do whatever they want.
I struggle with it because part of the I feel like Twitter is such a platform where the president can easily talk to everyone, and that was such a way that he did build his entire campaign. But I also understand that Twitter's a private company and they can do whatever they want. But with Parler being kicked off, I don't know. I personally hate that they kicked Trump off Twitter just because he's the president. It just feels like they're trying to shut down conservatives, and they feel like, Donald Trump's this huge dictator when it's like he's the one being silenced.
My concern would be who sets these censorship standards, and are they biased, right? And if they are biased, then that is something that we should be against.
One thing that a lot of people say in response to the censorship is oh yeah, Twitter's a private company and stuff. They can go make their own. Well, Parler did that. Parler went and made their own. So
exactly, and I get really frustrated because it's you call him a dictator and you call him these terrible things when who's the one's who's been silenced.
It can be a dangerous thing to say hey, you're not allowed to say something on here.
Trump and the people on Parler were inciting violence and saying a lot of dangerous things. So I think that these companies did the right thing by taking them off so they couldn't do that anymore.
One of the concerns is about the precedent that this sets in relation to the First Amendment, because it's one thing to be directly inciting violence or encouraging violence. That's not protected speech, but it's another thing when you're saying something that may not be popular, or that's rude or offensive or even really mean. That is protected speech regardless of if it hurts someone's feelings. Are you worried at all about the precedent that it might set for free speech?
It does set a precedent that could be dangerous in the future. But I think in this scenario, they didn't have much of a case because this was kind of a security threat and a threat to the safety of the country.
I think that as long as he has a communications person, and presidents have been able to communicate their thoughts for, centuries without Twitter, so no.
Do you think the big tech, do you think the Jack Dorsey and these people, do you trust them to draw that line?
No. These people that you just named should not dictate what is free speech and what isn't.
I think the left is going too far with censorship because, why do the conservatives have to be silenced so quickly, and so many people taken off Twitter?
Big tech essentially has a monopoly on the entire internet. They can control the information, as they please, however they want. Even if people want to do what Parler did, go create their own social media, they can get dropped off of the web browser and completely deplatformed. Do you think the big tech has too big of a monopoly and that we should work on possibly breaking them up?
I feel like that would be a big thing for the government to do that.
I think there does need to be more government regulation in order to prevent them from doing whatever they want.
I think that the government does have a responsibility because Google runs everything. They took over YouTube and they took over so many other things.
Yeah, I think it's a bipartisan concern, honestly. There are definitely some strictures that could be in place to better loosen the monopoly, especially I think as far as search engines go. But I also think that, as long as you're able to print a piece of paper and make a newspaper, there will be ways for new journalists and things like that to get their ideas out.
Should Trump start his own newspaper?
I mean, he's kind of doing that with Parler.
Well, Parler got deplatformed.
No, I know, but that was the intention.
Hey there, my name is Hannah Catherine Smith and I'm with Campus Reform. To continue seeing videos like these, be sure to subscribe here. And if you're interested in becoming a member of the Campus Reform team as an investigator or a correspondent, you can join the team here. And if you'd like to help us continue making videos like these, donate here.